good evening, gamers. Welcome to ozfortress, Season 23, Premier Division, Week 2. Today, we are bringing you the game Trisomy 21 versus Nefarious. Today, doing play-by-play is Xander. Say hello,
G'day
Xander.
guys. Hey, how you doing, Ivan?
I'm good. So, today, the maps we'll be bringing you will be Snakewater and Product.
Yeah, awesome. So yes, as you said before, these two teams are Trisomy 21 and Nefarious, or as I believe was said last time, Nefarious, hence their tag. But yeah, so this is our week 2 game. Let's just have a quick rundown of rosters here. Do you want to take us through one of these teams, Ivan?
Yeah, sure. Just give us a quick second. So, on the side of Trisomy, we have Lugnuts and Down on Scouts. We have Mad on Roma, Fane on Pocket, Crud on Demo, and Halfrong on Medic. And on the side of Nefarious, we have Ben and Spade on Scouts, Shifter on Roma, Rocky on Pocket, Moop on Demo, and Arnold on Medic.
Yeah, so not Nefarious, rather. Trisomy you might recognize from last season. That's a kind of mixed up roster from the Damage Inc. reform that played last season. They've brought back Halfrong on Medic from their run quite a few seasons ago. I believe they played 2 or 3 seasons of Inter, sorry, 1 or 2 seasons of Inter and then 2 or 3 in Prem, going up the ranks with Halfrong before he left and they reformed last season. Plus, with the addition of Down on Scout. Down is a very, very capable player, capable of hitting quite insane shots. We'll just see whether he's on tonight, I guess. And then on the other side of Nefarious, there's quite a few old gamers there in Shifter, who's tagged as Tangy Zizzle on your screens. Krolic is Rocky. Both New Zealand players, both been playing for quite a while, both very talented at their classes. I think it's a game of cohesion here, really. Both of these teams are full of some talented players, but it's who can play well together the best. What issues do you see arising on the side of Nefarious in winning tonight's game, Ivan?
On the side of Nefarious, I kind of fear a little bit for their flank, because I do believe that Trisomy do potentially have the stronger flank, depending on if Mad and Lugnuts can just have their cohesion working together. They're both not known to be the most mechanically strong players, but they've been playing together for a long time now. As we're going live?
No, I think they faked us out just there. They should be going live in about a few seconds, or maybe they're going live now. I guess we'll find out. But yeah, just really quickly before we head into this first mid, do you have any predictions for us, Ivan? Who do you think is going to come out on top of this game?
I'm gonna call this a 4-2 on the side of Nefarious.
Yeah, I reckon it's going to be closer, maybe a 4-3 on the side of Nefarious. But as we do head into this first mid, we see Crud and Moop both trading their stickies here, getting here at about the same time. Mads jumping in, actually a big pick from Fane on Spade there. Both soldiers just sort of sitting back and just eating the spam, and the scouts and soldiers are walking forward on the side of red team. I can't remember. I'm going to call them Damage Inc. all night. But that collapse has actually come in, and they're all super, super low. Halfrong is trapped on the other side of the point on 30 health, but he has managed to hit some arrows on his players. Shifter going in for a last-minute attempt to see what he can get done. And it's just Spade as the spawner up, and that's a very convincing mid, actually. Well,
that's a 5K
semi-convincing mid. Yeah, he's a god gamer, Fane. Some messy fighting forward there, but they look like they're going to hopefully take second off this.
That mid fight was insane from Fane. He just hit the absolute best rockets he could have. There was not one rocket that did less damage than it could have.
Yeah, Fane's a standout player for me on that team. He's a really comfortable pocket. We do see Ben up on Sniper on the side of blue team. Looks like he's just sniping from spawn. They do have a Pyro trying to sort of stuff that Uber in Shutter. As I say that Uber is committed. Rocky does die on that Pyro. They don't get much ground off this Uber, but they are now starting to walk forward and play the point. Down on the point, getting loads of time. Actually, both scouts just run on the point, and they're too far away to do anything. That was an interesting push, Ivan.
That was a really smart play out of the side of Mad and Lugnuts there. They both came in at the same time of their Uber, so while Blue were safe, thinking that their Pyro was denying the Uber, the flank came in and just distracted the entire combo on the side of Nefarious, winning them that last push. Take us through this next mid here, Xander.
Yeah, sure. Both Moop and Crud are arriving at the same time, exchanging that spam. Down and Lugnuts both trying to play up top here. A little bit more of a passive mid from Fane as he takes actually a lot of damage here. Mad trying to jump in, but also getting shut down really, really hard. Halfron gets taken down by a jump from the Roamer there. Moop does lose his life though, but with the heals on the side of blue team here, it does look like it might go the way of them, but there's some really messy fighting. Shifter getting cleaned up in the backline, and they do seem to have just like chosen to back out and then hopefully refight this with their heal advantage, Ivan.
Yeah, that was really good out of Shifter there. He jumped straight into their saw and basically no scout paid attention to him. They got the med pick on Halfrong and Nefarious just backed right all the way out, preserving the Uber. So they should be able to push into mid now with this Uber advantage that Shifter's created for them.
Yeah, smart play for Arnold, just calling that reverse there so that he can just maintain this. I would hopefully be looking to get in without using here, but we do see Mad in a position where he looks like he might be able to jump them and force them in here. But they opt to go through that upper top. Fane's up top. He does not actually connect that rocket in the end. He does lose his life, and they look like they're just backing out here. No one in a position to force or do anything. Arnold barely taking any damage in that push, and they do take that mid without taking Uber, and these Ubers are going to even up towards second point, but they're actually moving in really, really quickly, not giving them the time, but Rocky does get traded out by Mad. Mad is going to lose his life to the flank pushing of Shifter and Spade, and this even Uber's trade is now happening on the second point. Down being flashed a little bit, looks like it's a little bit better on the side of red team here, as blue team are just opting to move as their flank gets crushed by the scouts of red team there. They're all the way in on mid already. Down is really, really far forward, seeing what he can get done on Arnold, but his whole team is protecting him in Saw there, and they do look like they're just going to reverse this and get mid, Ivan.
I was so worried for the side of Trisomy there. They gave up so much ground when Nefarious were coming into second from grass, but it's just that down factor again. He's just hit so many shots that it forced the multi out of Arnold, creating them a better Uber.
Dropping their pocket there was also not ideal. Shifters in. Halfrom hits a very nice surf, actually manages to back out, but the damage is really, really big. Arnold also taking a little bit of damage in that fight, but the positioning is all on the side of blue team here, and red team is just forced to back out there. They lose down. They're 3 down in this position. Fane, the star pocket, also losing his life there, and just Crud and Halfrom left to turn tail on this one.
Not sure.
Halfrom looks like he's going to be forced. No, he drops. What? Okay.
I don't think he expected that.
Yeah, that was very aggressive scout play, but I mean, that was only a demo. You can just run at that, and he was like way in front of his demo there. His demo just wanted to leave. He unfortunately got caught there, but now this is a full Uber ad on the side of Ivan. How do they push this, Ivan? Did I say Ivan or Arnold?
Yeah, you said Ivan.
You're just on my mind, man.
They should be able to just walk straight in. It doesn't look like there's going to be any aggressive sacks as they have an NG on last, and they're just trying to get up their sentry gun. They also do have a defensive sniper, hoping to get an entry pick. The Nefarious are going to use through this left side, yeah. So
yeah, Fane is easy first casualty in that mid as he's really, really far forward. Everyone's jumping around, taking lots of damage. This gun actually hasn't gone down. They do get the medic. Gun only just going down here. Now everyone's jumping forward, playing the point. Only 2 alive. This looks like a very clinical last push from blue team there, Ivan.
Yeah, that was just so smart out of Nefarious. They saw that no one was watching over from right side, defender's perspective, and they just walked it straight in. They used all their Uber plays and just got straight onto Halfrong. There were no calls on that Uber coming in.
Yeah, Fane getting picked early, I think, was a big factor in that too. We do see both of these demos lining up for mid number 3 now. Stickies exchanged across the point. Mad actually jumping aggressive into their kitchen. He's trying to jump forward now, but he's on the demo. Actually, they do get the demo there, and the Roamer gets shut down in his bomb, but everyone is out of position on the red team, having been forced back by the shifter bomb, and they're giving up a lot of ground here, but they do sort of barrel forward with their heels here and just take this point in. Looked quite bad for them initially, but they do, I think, sort of muscle forward. After that, it's an interesting position. What do you think happened there, Ivan?
That was just really unfortunate on the side of nefarious. The scouts were just really low, so they couldn't walk in during after the bomb from shift and move walking forward. So the scouts just couldn't clean up on the kills that were presented to them. Does look like Damage Inc. are gonna try maybe fake push from grass, try to get a sack in.
Yeah, Mad actually trades with Rocky in that, which is a nice thing. Fane actually going in. Nice surf from Arnold. That was really, really good as Fane just gets cleaned up in the end. 2 down on each side as the counter sack does come in from Shifter. Some sort of action happening grass side now, but it looks like these are just gonna even out and wait for their spawns here, Ivan.
Yeah, it doesn't look like Blue can really do too much off that push. I do believe they lost 2 soldiers in that, so they couldn't really push in.
Yeah, Shifter went in for the counter sack after Fane and Mad both sacked in as well. So it was a 2-soldier sack from both teams.
Yeah, I think Damage Inc. should just go for another sack play here, because no one's come up any off classes.
Yeah, Arnold is actually quite forward in lower here. They're sort of seeing if they can muscle anything in here with just Moop watching his saw by himself at the moment.
Shifter's actually on the defensive sniper here, sniping from bats.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, Shifter is a pretty good sniper, but it sort of means that they're happy to sort of park the bus at 1-all with 20 minutes left, which is not the gameplay that I'd like to see, but we'll see how it pays off for them.
Does look like they're getting ready to go for another sack play maybe, with Fane either from window. Not entirely sure here. I feel like Damage Inc. should definitely be doing something, because...
Yeah, Down's starting to look a bit antsy on grass by himself. He wants to do something. He wants to get in. He's just kind of trading, 9 damage meat shots across the map with his spade on top of Hut there.
You need that 80% ac. Anything below, garbage game.
Yeah, there's sort of lots of spam being exchanged in store now. Fane...
Oh, big bomb, out of Mad. That's huge.
Oh, does get the force. Yeah, that's a really nice bomb. And they're just sort of seeing what they can get out of Saw, but Half Wrong isn't in any danger right now. They should look out for a sack at the moment to see if anyone does it. But Shifter is, of course, still on Sniper, so he's in no position to do anything. Is he... Yeah, he's in Saw... Cheese right now, actually. Sniping, watching into Saw. They're just going to wait for their spawn to come up in Mad and then move off this full Uber ad.
I just want to point out how well played that both the soldiers handled that on the side of Trisomy. Fane spammed out the scout, watching from height, allowing Mad to just walk straight in from lower.
They do actually get forced by some spam there from Rocky, I believe it was, who does look like he's going to lose his life in this Uber. He is the only frag that they get, and they just back out to last with 70 or 80% even Uber advantage, and they're just spamming out, seeing what they can do. I would move in really fast, yeah, before this Uber comes into play. That looks like what they're trying to do here, actually. There's lots of damage going through, but Arnold does have his Uber, and that Uber is popped. There's a big Putus sitting on last. But Lugnuts is on the point! That is so much cap time! Illegal gameplay from Lugnuts there, standing on the point with the Putus, not doing anything. They're trying to get in to refight this in what is a messy situation with no Ubers on each team. Low health on both teams, 2 down on the side of Blue here, but the spawns are just coming up now, and they do look like they're content to back off with what is now about 30% Uber at Ivan.
That was so clutch out of the side of Shifter. If he was playing any other class, I don't think they would have clutched that. That fat man just standing on point with the brass beast is just absolutely insane. Yeah,
he didn't actually look at the point at all. Spade going in to see what he can do. He does lose his life, unfortunately. Hit some good damage on the demo, but that's not followed up on, unfortunately. They do look like they're going to push this Uber in through Shutter. There's that sticky trap there, and then Down does get catapulted way too far forward. They don't actually get any picks for this, but the point is being played. Even the Uber actually built really well from Arnold there as it does come into counter, and Half Wrong actually dies. He's really far forward when this Uber fades. They didn't expect him to have built that well at all. Mad going in, Fane going in rather to see what he can do. Does a lot of damage. Actually, they do get so many frags. It's just one scout up. Wow. What happened there, Ivan?
That was just absolutely nuts. There was just so much cap time on the last point, and the health was so atrocious that the players just all collapsed onto point. Like Crud spammed like 2 pipes, like down like twice before things died.
Yeah, that was amazing. Some good damage from the scouts there, following up from their demos there as we head into yet another mid. Both demos just exchanging spam on this mid, nothing else happening. Rocky's actually bombing in quite aggressive. Quad followed by Shift Up. Shifter actually goes a little bit too far, deals a little bit of damage, but is actually forced out. Moop is so far across the point there. He does trade with down, but he does lose his life. Lugnut's quite low across the point. Some nice arrows coming out from Halfrong to keep his team in this fight. And they're just walking forward. Ben and actually Spade walking forward here, forcing actually some bad positioning on the side there. They're actually staying in, making this a really, really long mid-fight. Rocky jumping in forward again, does actually manage to get the frag on Mad, but Lugnuts and Fane both team up to get that point here. These Ubers are going to be in play very, very soon. Shifter's respawning and jumping in already. Spade walking forward does get the cleanup frag on Lugnuts. Both Ubers up from these teams, but this positioning is all on the side of blue team now as Halfrong is forced to back out with just 2 players there, Ivan.
Shifter went for the 400 IQ play there and just died as soon as he got to mid, just so that he could fight the post initial mid.
Yeah.
If it
he's jumping in again now. He's going for it. Nice rockets though. Halfrong does get forced. That's really good. This trade actually comes out as Arnold is also taken very, very low and forced as well. They're actually walking backwards a little bit as Rocky's trying to go in. Rocky does actually get Arnold, Halfrong, sorry, but Crudden down, and the whole rest of the team just walk forwards through everybody. Some low health gamers. Spade's going to see what he can do. No, nothing happens, unfortunately, and that's pretty much a wipe as down drops the question mark in chat there.
I'm not exactly sure what happened with Nefarious there. Their Uber was pretty okay, it was decent. They finished on grass, but their post Uber just seemed non-existent. There were just no players that came to collapse.
Yeah, I feel Arnold flashed quite a lot there, and that led to their Uber being pretty much the same length. And then Rocky jumping forward to... He did actually get the medic frag there, but the whole rest of the team just walked forward and collapsed. Really, really well on the side of Trisomy or Damage Incorporated, whatever they are now. But yeah, that was really, really well coordinated, I should say, on the side of Damage Inc. There, we do see a sniper up in Ben as they sort of try to see what they can do here with Halfrong's what was 30% ad, but is actually being built really well on the side of Arnold. So it's decreasing quite a lot.
I don't think even with this Uber ad they can really push, because Ben is sniping.
Yeah, Ben is quite a good sniper as well. He's taking the angle up in cheese right now, seeing if he can catch anything out. I think they've decided that this is even. They're choosing not to push. What was nearly 30% ad has been taken away here. Fane jumping in, seeing what he can do. Arnold is so far back in lobby though, so he doesn't get any damage, unfortunately. And now we should hopefully see some sort of counter-sack play here. Shifters moving forward, exchanging some spam. Nothing really happening just yet. Ben's just moving forward to see if he can get a really nice aggressive angle. Halfrong playing behind the hut. He's been called. He knows what position to play here. Rocky is quite forward, seeing what he can do as well. Just a sort of more spam exchanged, Ivan.
It's just a whole bunch of logs damage happening right now. I think Rocky actually wanted to go in for his signature trade there, the Rocky trade, but
yeah,
Crud just had a few stickies just on the doorway, so Arnold couldn't walk in. I'm actually not that big a fan about this Ben sniper play, because they're right now Nefarious are against the clock. It's 15, it's 15 minutes down, but right now Trisomy are comfortable just sitting on this time, waiting for the time to whittle down.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the most exciting TF2 to watch, but it can happen. Also, just while we have a... Oh my god!
Oh my god. I take back everything I said.
Yes, that was a ridiculous shot. Doming and dropping Halfrong in what was an amazing shot. I actually missed what happened. I was about to talk about how I have a cold, but that was amazing there. We do see the collapse trying to come in, seeing if they can get anything onto Arnold, but there's just playing around him so well. Halfrong has spawned. Ben is actually still sniping, but they should be able to take this midpoint, ideally without getting forced here. Yeah, that sniper coming in, Mad coming in for the bomb, but Arnold knows. Arnold does actually get forced. Fane probably going to crater. Yeah, he gets cleaned up in the air by some 100% accuracy scout shot there. But that's really, really well played on the side of Mad to get that force. Ideally, they wouldn't force there, but these Uvers are pretty much even in this situation, and it does look like we're just going to have another stalemate, but on a mid to second the other way around this time, Ivan.
I actually do believe Nefarious can push in here off their player. They had a 2-player pick, but it does look like they've taken a bit to move in on this, and they're just deciding to pull it back now.
Yeah, they actually do lose 2 players in both of their soldiers dying in that fight. I think, yeah, they did want to push that quite quite aggressively, but unfortunately it didn't pay off for them. Fane jumping really far forward, might pick up Ben if he hits this shot. Ben actually does get stolen by Down. Down running forward to see what he can get, but those pipes of Moop aren't letting anyone through, as they do choose to back off. And again, we have reversed back to the same stalemate that we saw Ben sniping in this situation before. With him spawning soon, do you reckon he's going to snipe again? What's your prediction?
Harfrong comes in with the aggressive trade. I'm gonna let you take this actually.
Yeah, this is actually this is the Rocky trade, but it was on Crud there. Halfrong is actually way too far forward in this post-Uber situation and gets cleaned up by the death ball that is Nefarious in this situation. And we do see, yeah, just really, really good consolidation on the side of Nefarious there, cleaning up the two overextended players there. We do see Down trying to get something in Kitchen, seeing if he can sort of force some cheeky behind plays. But the whole team there, Down actually opting to get out before he can... Who might get cleaned up? No, he does actually leave without trading his life for that. But this is mid and full ad, well, not quite full ad, but very large ad pushing into second for Nefarious now, Ivan.
I'm really confused as to what that trade was. I looked away for half a second, I turned back, and Harfrong standing by himself outside of Saw.
Yeah, I think he used it on Crud there. I don't know if they expected a little bit more ad than they had. Mad sacking in there to try and get on Arnold, but there's 5 players around him. He's not going to take any damage from that bomb. This is another soldier jumping in as well right now. Actually does get cleaned up by a nice arrow from Arnold, actually. He's playing really well right now. But they are 2 down heading into last, which should hopefully even out for them. But this is easily pushable. Yeah, and this actually, before I can even take a breath, the Uber's coming in. Forcing actually quite a large multi from blue team here. Moop is actually caught by himself, and they do collapse on everyone here. Just Shifter and Spade alive. Fighting last, though, if they can. Spade is coming in, getting a bit of time on point. Shifter coming up, seeing what he can follow on. He's quite low, though, and that won't end up happening there. Rocky is just the lone spawner. Ivan, what happened in that Uber?
I think Arnold just believed that he had slightly bigger ad than he actually did, but it was realistically 5% ad. Not really something you can push off.
I think they were more pushing on their 2-player ad that they had rather than Uber ad, and seeing if they could force that messy fight, which they did, but then they were caught out of position by the Uber there. They just flashed like 6 times. It was unfortunate how much Arnold flashed there, which let that other Uber just clean them up.
Yeah, Harfrong played really well there, holding on to his Uber, making sure that their post-Uber fight was just way better and the collapse was just impeccable.
Yeah, and I think they're aware of their ad here after Arnold dying here. All these traps actually don't get anyone. That's really unfortunate. Fane was super low there, but he doesn't actually end up dying. Tangy Zizzle in Shifter trying to get some damage there. Spade losing his life. This Uber still hasn't been popped. So they look like they're going to take this mid without popping, which is really good on the side of Harfrong. They get through without using. This is a 2-player ad, but it looks like it's probably going to even out onto this second stalemate that we've seen so often. We've had 5 minutes of mid to second stalemates, Ivan.
I love this. They're dry pushing grass right now off the same spawn ad again, and Arnold is not close to deny them this ground.
Yeah, they're rotating through now, and the Uber is actually forced early on the side of Arnold. Crud actually jumping away a little bit as the Uber is pushed in a little bit. Rocky does look like he's going to lose his life in this. Whoa, no, he hits a really nice rocket actually on Down. He's still behind. Halfrong looks like he's going to die too, and this is a really excellent collapse. Mad coming in to see what he can do right at the very end. But that was a really nice collapse, and what looked like a really bad Uber trade. They actually managed to play that through some really flashy DM plays there, Ivan.
Yeah, Rocky won them that post-Uber there. Down was shooting him while he was in the air, and Rocky just hit 2 great rockets that killed Down. And after that, no one else looked at him. He just got free reign of all the ground and just did all the damage. He helped clean up the fight for his team.
Yeah, walking forward, making sure that Halfrong was pincered there. That was a pretty brutal position to be put in. But yeah, we do see another mid to second hold for this one. No snipers up on either team right now, so hopefully something will happen with this Uber out on the side of Arnold. They're already taking grass. Rocky quite forward, dealing a lot of damage here. Takes an arrow for him. 2 scouts forward. Lugnuts is actually taking a fight. He might die, actually. As I say that, the flank actually pushes through, and Fane and Down both lose their lives. Mad, really low health as he falls out to last, but this is 10 ad. I don't think they're going to move on this as Uber ad, but they're going to move on this as player ad. This Uber is actually forced very, very low players, forcing a huge multi on the side of red team. And these guys are just regrouping, trying to fight this in the post Uber. Fane getting absolutely mulched by 5 players playing around the medic. This is just really, really clinical, controlled play from Nefarious. This is really, really nice TF2 to watch from them, Ivan.
That post Uber play was just perfect. They consolidated so quickly, and they just focus fired everything in their sides on left and just mowed every single player down on the side of Trisomy.
Yeah, just those focus calls one after another. That was really nice to see. Both of these demos arriving around the same time, maybe a little faster from Moop as he does get that first sticky, but this is all kind of evening out again as we just see Soldiers trying to take the high ground here. Both of them from the same side. Mad is actually taken quite low, trying to jump towards Shifter is actually behind him in his own saw, and he doesn't see it. He's going to lose that fight, I think. Both of them actually fairly low doing the old Roma special. Fane loses his life as he tries to jump forward. Shifter actually does eventually lose the awkward Roma fight to Mad in the end, but that's one down on each side, and then we sort of see again high ground trying to be played by both of these soldiers. Rocky actually doing a lot more. Spade quite low after his fight with Fane there, but they're jumping in. The Uber is actually forced by Rocky jumping in. Arnold is actually choosing to back out and save his Uber. No, actually he does get forced to save Moop. As he gets taken quite low. Lugnuts is actually jumping around, giving them quite a fight in this last time. Lugnuts actually does die to some nice pipage from Moop. Mad actually does get fragged by Moop as well, hitting some nice pipes. They should hopefully back out here. Halfrong is actually holding quite forward. He might get caught here as these players jump forward, but no, they split out. Halfrong meeting with his soldier there, as that is now 3 down on the side of what was yet another really extended Uber fight, Ivan.
Yeah, these teams are just, they're playing with so much respect for each other. They're just playing so carefully and off each other's damage. It's crazy.
Yeah, some good TF2 that we're witnessing tonight, as this is 2-all with about 6 minutes left. This is still anyone's game right now, as Fane jumps in really quickly, seeing if he can get that force on Arnold. Oh, actually, he doesn't even have it yet. They're actually playing this really messy fight before the Ubers are even in play, but everyone is actually just taken down super low on the side of red team there. They actually lose everyone as these Ubers now come up. Halfrong is going to be forced. Halfrong dies on 99. Did he drop? I'm not quite sure what happened there, but that was really unfortunate play. It's only 2 up, 3 up now actually on the side there. Just Fane as the last spawner there. This is some really interesting TF2, Ivan. What was happening there?
Well, to start with, Moop walked a bit far forward, just a bit past the train before Arnold had Uber. So I don't think Arnold wanted to play that aggressively, so Moop was kind of left stranded by himself, not being able to lock out the bridge doorway without his heals. And Ben he went ham. He hit literally everything. You salvaged that fight so hard.
That was really well played. But yes, this Uber does actually come in through under here. The Pootis is being focused down really hard. He gets some nice arrows actually from Halfrong, prolonging his life. The gun is taken down as well. But these guys are all playing together as that death ball. Mad jumping down to see if he can take Shifter off that train. Some, nice stickies cleaning up down there. And they're all actually just starting to play the point. The stickies there, some nice rockets actually. Unfortunately, that point play caught them out in the very end there. Sorry, that's my cold acting up. Apologies for my words there a little bit. But yeah, some interesting play, Ivan, as we are now 5 minutes left with 1 round up on the side of Nefarious.
My prediction, it's happening.
You reckon they're going to take this next one? I guess it'll depend on this mid, as we see both demos arriving pretty much at the same time again. Crud dealing a little bit of damage, but also getting traded there. Mad actually a quick frag going in as they're playing this hyper aggressive. Only Moop is the first frag there. Halfrong actually loses down. Crud and Lug, the dynamic duo, the last 2 up alive. Crud doing what he can, but he does get cleaned up. Ben and Spade teaming up for some excellent frags there, as that hyper-aggressive mid doesn't pay off for Trisomy there, Ivan.
Yeah, Trisomy, I believe they had the right idea. Take a hyper-aggressive mid, slay everything in front of you, deathball them, basically. But they just ended up fighting on 2 different fronts. There were 2 different fights happening that mid. One outside of Saw and one in lower. And Nefarious basically just picked them off with their heal advantage, deathballing from lower and just killing, and they just had the better DM basically.
Yeah,
they just cleaned up their players better.
Yeah, well played. Mad is actually up on Spy right now. He's in a pretty good position. Unfortunately, it looks like they're going to be able to push without him being able to make a play. Yeah, they're Ubering in very, very soon, and he's in no position to make a play. They're in Shutter using in, and he's struck behind them as Spy, which isn't ideal. He does actually lose his... No, not lose his life. Yes, he trades, actually gets spayed. Sorry, wasn't even paying attention as this Uber does come in. There's loads of frags. Just Fane and down, and Crud rather, and they're cleaned up there. And this is the fabled 4-2 of your prediction. There's 3 minutes left. I want them to. I want the other team to take one more round. I want Trisomy to take one more round, so it's my prediction and not yours that takes it. But yes, some interesting TF2 on that last point, Ivan. Just before we head into that mid, what happened on that last mid? On last, sorry.
It was just a really high risk, high reward play out of Mad. He was trying to hope to clutch the spy play, hopefully save the round, but it just didn't pan out, so they were just left with the spy in last, like you said.
Yeah, it's a bit unfortunate there. More spam being exchanged. Actually, Rocky being fragged by some nice coordination. Shifter is in. Ooh, nice surf from Halfrong, actually. He's really, really low, and the scouts know it. They're trying to get forward to see what they can do. Lugnuts does lose his life there, but that's both soldiers down, and they're just choosing to back off. Play this safe. Oh, no, they're not. Spade coming in and crushing Halfrong. That's the play that they want. That might reset this middle, as Arnold still has full ad. Shifter is playing Putus. They may choose to just turtle this on second. No, they are indeed. Are they coming out to fight here? This is a bit odd. Yeah, they are coming out to fight here. Shifter playing Putus. They're not having any of this. They're not giving up this second point. Down, losing his life, as they are just caught out as a little bit too aggressive there, Ivan.
Yeah, I think Red were just trying to go for a force play, but they... You don't expect a Brass Beast Putus to be standing on bridge. You don't want to be jumping into that. It does look like Nefarious can take this for free, just muscling them out, chatting them with their full Uber advantage and Putus.
Yeah, they look like they're just going to take this mid. They can't really do anything. Fane and Lugnut's both down on the side of this team. Then, yeah, they're just Crud losing his life there as well. This Uber is popped in. Putus frag. Oh, Halfrong doesn't get Putus fragged. Mad, seeing what he can salvage. Does actually get called really early. He'll pick up again. Oh no, skill stick fraggers. Shifter, is that a family business? Shifter.
That is a family business.
Shifter proving the Putus max. A minute left. They're actually pushing into last with 2-player ad here. It's very interesting.
Does look like they're just trying to slowly take as much ground as possible with this Putus. He gets absolutely shredded from the rockets from Fane and the shots from Lugnuts, I believe. And yeah, I don't think they really expected their Putus to die that quickly.
Yeah, that is, yeah, unfortunately Putus getting mulched there, but there's all these stickies up kind of denying them that entry there. Actually, blind Debt's down as he tries to walk through those stickies. They are getting in onto this point. Lugnuts is actually taking a non-favorable duel here with Spade. Spade actually wins this. Nice rockets. Ooh, nice rockets from Rocky, cleaning up Halfrong there. And this is another Uber for the logs for Arnold. More frags for Rocky. This is
they can go to
but
last.
over with 20 seconds left. They do have time to cap this. Point is being played really, really quickly. ×3. This is going to cap. Ooh, yeah, that's 5-2 with 10 seconds left. That will be our GG, and that's the first map of this week 2 game. Snakewater going 5-2 on the side of Nefarious, Ivan.
Nefarious played really well this map. Their collapse play, as far as I could see, was just way cleaner than the side of Trisomy. But this is some like excellent TF2 being played right now.
Yeah, it was really good to see some of that that gameplay being played. It was really, really close and really, really tense for the first half of that game before I think Nefarious kind of found their stride a little bit there. I know in scrims before, it's been the other team coming out on top. It's been pretty close. It's been interesting to see. Interesting to see these teams kind of play against each other. They're both pretty evenly matched, which is cool to see. As we do head in towards some logs here, who stands out to you first off in these logs, Ivan?
Arnold. He has 5 deaths.
Big Arnold. Oh wow, that is big Arnold. 18 assists as well. So he's not hiding away from these fights. He's just not dying. That's a really impressive stat to see.
Yeah, Arnold is definitely shying away from his typical standing behind his players, shooting arrows from across the map for 70 damage. Medic is the cleanup class. It's really good to see. He's not playing defensively, like you said. He's being really forward in these Ubers, and his post-Uber game is just spot on.
Yeah, he's been playing really well in the post Ubers compared to Halfrong, who's been caught out multiple times in these post Uber situations.
Yeah,
which is unfortunate to see. Sorry, continue.
it's all right. If you go on to look at the deaths of Halfrong, it's 15. It's 3. Correct me if I'm wrong, Xander, but 5 times 3 is 15.
I believe that is correct.
That is very many deaths on the side of Halfrong. So I don't believe these heals are being distributed well in these fights that are super chaotic. That's really dependent on these post-Ubers fights.
Yeah, and I mean, if you look at the stats, you know, they're both very high healing games, but, you know, 35,000 versus 33,000, like, they are very high healed games. There was a lot of spam exchange there, but there's 17 compared to Halfrong's 10 with 3 drops on top of it. So it's not a good stat to see on your medic there, unfortunately. But damage-wise, Crud actually pulling his weight, doing quite a lot more, actually over 1,000 more damage than his blue counterpart in Moop. But I think for me, the standout player is on sorry, on oh my goodness, what team is this? Nefarious. On Nefarious was actually Rocky. He's known as quite a heal heavy pocket. He did get the most heals, but he shared it with Moop quite well. It's good to see that there's just a little bit more sharing that he's going through, because he normally, you know, is that 40 plus heal pocket, and he's sharing it really well, which is good to see.
Yeah, it's good to see Rocky transition from his 40% hero shotgun MG hero pocket to this more meta-rounded soldier, I would say, where he doesn't take as many heals, but he is still like making a lot of players look at him.
Yeah, he's the one often jumping forwards in these fights and sort of playing that much more fluid pocket / roamer that we saw him kind of do with Geo when he was on Jasmine T a few seasons ago. They kind of played that a little bit more fluidly, where, you know, whoever was in the right position would move on it, and it was much less fluid. We do see Fane doing the same thing. He's often the one moving forward and kind of taking these selfless fights for his team, taking that ground, and you do see that reflected in his death stat. But he's, I think, for me, on the other team, it's a you know, game of pockets. Fane was the standout player for me on the side of Trisomy. On the other team, I don't know, he's a really selfless pocket. He will go forward without those heals. He will take that damage. He will, and like we saw him on the very first mid, he will farm if he needs to. He's a very, very confident and comfortable player, and it sort of really showed in those fights where he was sort of taking that ground aggressively. I don't know, it's interesting to see. For me as well, on this map, I'd like to see demos taking a bit more heals rather than pockets here. So it'll be interesting to see how Rocky adapts to, you know, hopefully even less heals on this map, Ivan.
Yeah, on this product, it's known for being the scout-centric map. So
yeah,
if I do believe that Blue have more well-rounded scouts, and that they can definitely do some work, but if Down decides to just
if Down is on, I feel like this is very much their game. Down can, you know, 1v6, and he's a very comfortable player. If Down isn't hitting his shots and Fane isn't sort of opening that ground for him, I feel that it won't go as well. Spade and Ben are both very talented scouts and snipers, but we'll see how this map plays out, as we are live on our second map here of our week 2 ozfortress 23 game. Trisomy 21 versus Nefarious, and we are heading into this first mid. Why don't you take us through this first mid, Ivan?
So as we get into this first mid, we see Crud. He's actually hitting some pretty good stickies. A really early fast bomb from Rocky onto Fane completely takes him out of the fight. Does look like damage. Nefarious are just slowly walking forward now. Yeah, they just focus fired everything in the sides. There's a bomb coming in from Mad. Doesn't really do too much to Arnold though.
Yeah, that was super well played from Rocky. He took that super aggressive like jump in and just used his DM to outfrag Fane there, and then coming in at the end and dealing some more damage in that post fight as well after he'd gone that frag. We do see this forward hold coming out already from blue team here, from Nefarious. They're choosing to back off with their full Uber, and Arnold is playing passive on Cliff, trying to give them this ground, let them walk in, as this is an even Uber situation. We just see some spam exchange, nothing really happening in this moment right now. Some soldiers jumping around. Rocky is actually jumping in, does lose his life, unfortunately. No frags to come from that. Looks like Fane is making the move in these pocket v pocket sacks. Fane actually does get taken out, but this trade actually comes in from Arnold. That's an interesting pop onto Moop. They flash once, Moop jumping backwards. This ground actually is going towards Damage Incorporated, or Trisomy as they're called now. And they are taking the point off that, which was a very odd trade from Arnold there, Ivan.
I think they wanted to use onto the point and not give up so much ground, but there was that one soldier that just jumped onto Cliff and 3 players ended up looking at him. Here comes this post play though, like I said again, from the side of Nefarious, that they're just so good at.
Yeah, these soldiers just turn everyone around, and the scouts are walking forward, down getting cleaned up in the end there, and it's very, very low health as this point is taken. Oof! Nice shot from Mad onto Arnold as he does even out the Ubers here. Actually, I should say that Halfrong does survive. I didn't see that. Halfrong does survive on 60%, which is a very, very favorable position for them to be in, as this point is flip-flopping yet again already, Ivan.
Yes, this is true. on the side of Trisomy, yeah, they have a 90% Uber now. It doesn't look like they're going... They didn't go for the forward hold, which they definitely could have. But Halfrong's getting bombed right now, trying not to force. Lives on 21 HP after fall damage. So
and the shifter is coming in super high. Halfrong he's chancing it again. Oh, that's a really nice surf. He would definitely have crated if he didn't land on that. That's some amazing, as a medic main myself, that's an amazing play from Halfrong. I love to see that. Excellent surfers. They do sack quite a few people actually in there and not getting the force despite his very, very low HP. The Ubers oh, actually I should say Halfrong taken very low actually does force to that second double soldier bomb. And now that's almost full ad on Arnold as they 4-man sack into them there, Ivan.
Yeah, that was a really good bomb out of both the soldiers there. They pretty much both killed both scouts instantly and got the medic force. So that's pretty much what you want to do, because now without those 2 scouts, Trisomy can't forward hold, and they're just walking in with their full Uber now.
Yeah, Halfrong is still quite forward in this fight. I would like to see him a little bit further out. He is supporting his players to get this force though, which is good. Halfrong is the last one leaving here. Does actually get out. Down is still in, seeing what he can do. Does get cleaned up. Some nice damage though, but does get cleaned up pretty quickly and handily. As this is about 20 ad on the side of Halfrong. How do you see them breaking out of this hold, Ivan?
Doesn't look like Nefarious are really going for anything too special. No one hiding. So they're just playing a little bit behind their rock. Respecting the 17-20% Uber ad that Trisomy have.
Yeah, Moop hitting some nice sticky damage, actually taking some scouts down really low. As this, they're playing it like it's even, they're calling it, they're faking it out. Oh, but some excellent forward play from Fane takes Arnold out on 90-something%. Really, really well played. Really low health on Rocky though, as he does trade for a couple of gamers there, and they're actually 3 down with no health left. Fane seeing what he can do, cleaning this up on about 80 HP, but he does jump out and leave, as that is actually, what happened there? Is that the ad? I'm sorry, my brain stopped working halfway through that, Ivan.
That Uber went from like a 5,000 IQ Uber to a 5 IQ Uber. Like Halfrong counted 5, like Halfrong counted those Ubers so perfectly that they pushed in on Arnold just barely not having. But he immediately picked up the medigun, which cost them the rest of their Uber, so he just lost the rest of his players.
Oh, that's a shame. I didn't even see that. That's very silly. But actually, this is overtime with 2 players up. This is looking really, really good on the side of Trisomy. Looks like they are going to take this round. Oh no, sorry, that's the other timer. I do apologize. If I haven't said it before, I have a huge cold and my brain is leaking out my ears right now. But yeah, this is they saved the point from being lost there actually. Can you lead us through this one, Ivan? Because obviously my brain has fallen out.
it does look like the two soldiers going in for force. Yeah, this is a standard 4-man sack out of the side of Nefarious. Really well played. They tried to just fake the push as if they were coming in for a trade the whole time. And then they just sent all their projectile classes to sack in and go in half wrong.
Yeah, that was
really good fake
really
out
well
play.
played. Yeah, really well played from them. As there is 30 seconds left, but they do have full Uberad. If they can hold them at this forward hold, they might be able to get enough time. Spade is up on the Pyro though.
Fane's hiding.
Oh, Fane gets the force really early. That's nice play from Fane. And he gets out. Oh, no, he doesn't. I lied. They have the Pyro on the point. Lugnuts is in behind trying to duel that Pyro, but he gets walked at and melted completely. Mad jumping in, seeing what he can do, but this Pyro is alive, and that is a wipe. And then the round going to Nefarious there, Ivan.
That was just really quick and efficient out of Nefarious. Spade came up Pyro, broke out of the forward hold. They used in, killed the players, separated them, and just picked them off one by one.
Yeah, that's an Arbender visualization right there. I think he called that would happen, and then it happened, which is always nice to see. This another mid here, actually some really aggressive bombs in from Rocky again, as he is actually fragging Halfrong, actually Ben stealing that frag right at the end, unfortunately. Shifter trading as well onto Lugnuts, and is very, very low health on everyone there, as the soldiers do try to jump in and try to commit to see what they can get done. Down coming in from behind as well, but these are sort of futile attempts at this stage, unfortunately. And they do get all cleaned up there in what was a very, very well played aggressive mid from Nefarious there, Ivan.
The way Arnold positioned himself there, it was so subtle, but it was just really good. He just placed himself on cliff. That's it. Because he saw both the soldiers were low health, and they just sacked in and couldn't make it. With both scouts looking at him, there was no way he was dying there. It was really well played from him. But it doesn't look like they actually went for the forward hold. I don't think they had enough time to set it up, as they are holding with a full Uberad now. Trisomy going in for the 4-man sack play. Fane does die immediately, and it does look like Arnold's holding his Uber.
Yeah, Arnold not taking any damage there. Sorry, I believe I dropped for a second there. My net kind of disconnected. My apologies. But I'm back now, as these Ubers do seem to have evened themselves out, Ivan.
Yeah, with both Ubers equalized, it does look like Trisomy are just coming out. It does look like Fane's just taking some ground for them. Rip's edging forward, thinking he's wanting to go for a trade. Lugnuts is going way forward. He pushes Ben all the way back, but this is a disastrous Uber coming out of Halfrong, dropping his demo there.
Yeah, he does seem to run behind the point with his scouts there, but both of the scouts are just running super forward. Spade does lose his life, but he does get the medic frag, and with so many gamers down, actually the spawns are coming in now, and this looks like it could be a very, very good collapse, as it's just Rocky up against down. Oh, he hits the MGE rocket on Ad 1, Viaduct middle. He's used to those scouts playing on that rock. He knows what to do. But yeah, that is, they're... Actually, are they waiting for this cap? No, they delay down spawn. That was a bit interesting. They kind of tried it, but then down didn't spawn. And then they capped it anyway, and they delay his spawn. That was a bit unfortunate to see. But yes, we do see another even Ubers fight as this... these gamers start to walk forward. They're taking so much ground already. So much damage is being dealt. They're all being forced backwards. Moop actually does lose his life, and Shifter is quite low as well. But Rocky's coming in with this hyper-aggressive bomb onto Crud on Cliff. Crud is actually... Oh, Rocky's rockets are so good. He crushed Crud just there in my... onomatopoeia situation. But they do seem to start coming forward here to cap the point that was traded in that fight, and it's another pretty even fight here, Ivan.
That was... I'm not sure what to say for that, actually. Moop... Arnold had a random pipe and just Moop couldn't get healed after that. It does look like Halfrong does get the Uber forced out of him from Shifter though, and Arnold does finally use. It does look like they can have a way better post-Uber.
Yeah, Crud looks like he might lose his life in this post-Uber situation. Yeah, Crud gets fragged. He unfortunately didn't get the heals from his med that he needed. Shifter is in trying to get what he can do, as is Rocky. Rocky actually does kill Halfrong, and Shifter does get the skill stick frag on Mad at the very end. So that was a disastrous play from Red Team in there, Ivan.
Yeah. They just didn't respect the Uberad that Arnold had, and they just wiped them all up with it.
Yeah, Arnold's played that post-Uber situation way better than Halfrong. Halfrong is again caught out of position at the end of those Ubers, which is a shame to see, because he's playing so well in every other situation. Shifter going in, see what he can do. Down not having any of it cleans him up in the end. Halfrong actually takes a fair bit of damage walking forward here. This is 40% ad on the side of Arnold. They look like they're just trying to sort of back out a little bit. Oh, Fane does the big bomb in and cleans up the frags that he needs to. Moop jumping in, seeing if he actually does clean up Crud, and Rocky is jumping in too. The whole team is collapsing so well on all of these players, and it's just Fane spawning in at the end, Ivan.
What happened there? Like, the side of Trisomy were just all on... They were just all in such a bad spot. They were all standing on low ground, and they just got so collapsed on by the side of nefarious.
Yeah, it was an interesting play. Some nice rockets coming out from Shifter at the very end there as they seal that point, leading 2 rounds to 0 in what is looking like a very dominant and confident performance, Ivan.
Trisomy not taking a book out of Rocky's Bible there, reading the inscription of, as soon as our med dies, they will suicide bomb for hours as hard as they can, and they just put themselves in such a bad position.
Yeah, both double aggro soldiers actually on this mid, but they do actually clean up Moop and Arnold, but Crud and Halfrong are being answered instantly on the other team, so Med and Demo down on both sides. Really low health actually. Spade is super low. Down's going to walk in and clean that up, and that's just Rocky alive. He's behind them in their grass. Fane jumping in actually doesn't realize he's there and gets absolutely mulched. Rocky does get MGE'd by Down in the very end there, and that is the first mid, I think, on this map we've seen Trisomy win, Ivan.
I do believe so. That was a really funny mid to watch, honestly. It's like both teams just agreed to each other, hey, we're not going to shoot anything that's on our medic and demo this mid, and then they just went to brawl at it. It does look like Nefarious are trying to go for a counter aggression, trying to take as much ground as they can. Rocky goes in for a bomb, gets a little denied from the scouts.
Yeah, he hits some nice rockets on that scout though. Down actually does lose his life after that. Fane seeing what he can do. He's taken very, very low. Looks like he is going to die, and that is hopefully going to trigger the back out. Actually, Crud is still staying and fighting on like 5 health. This is a very interesting positioning. They're committing to the fights, which is good to see, I guess. But they're all way too low health and way out of position. They should have just backed there, Ivan.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what's really happening on the side of Trisomy. It looks like Halfrong's just getting really caught out by these bombs. Shifter's getting in on him really easily from either behind or just straight above and into him.
Shifter and Rocky are both having a really good game on Soldier. They're just like farming Halfrong at the moment, which is always unfortunate to see. Fane taking the high ground as they sort of try to start moving in here. The stickies from Moop are dead. But there's a scouting behind in Spade. Spade is dueling Halfrong. Does get fragged actually as, yeah, the Uber is forced though by Down, which isn't too bad. They do end up dropping their demo, but Down does get cleaned up behind, and it's now just Mad at spawn. Can you explain what happened there, Ivan?
It looked like Trisomy were just going for a standard 4-man sack, like trying to go for that fake out play, but Spade just, I don't know how he got around, but he just got behind them through house maybe, and just 2-shot Halfrong.
Yeah,
so,
that was really... And again, Halfrong dying to this Rocky bomb. Halfrong is just getting owned this game. He's getting completely farmed by basically the entirety of the other team. Arnold getting some nice surfs to... and arrows actually to stay alive, causing Shifter to win that fight. Down is in, trying to see what he can do through main, but he's very, very low health, and he's just, yeah, running out there. Some really nice play from Arnold there to stay alive and to keep his players alive at the same time. That was really nice to see, Ivan.
Yeah, it just looks like Halfrong's getting caught out by these bombs. Arnold played really defensively. Rocky was probably whispering
He's again. He's dead again. Shifter gets in again, and Down dies to a trap. Shifter does lose his life for it. Mad jumping in to see what he can do, but Arnold is playing behind his entire team. He's in no danger yet again as another 5 people just walk at him, and he has taken 0 damage from scouts and soldiers. It's a tale of two completely different cities right now. We see Arnold playing so well against his team, and Halfrong getting caught out all the time.
Yeah, Nefarious are just sitting so comfortably. They've been like controlling the pace of this game, of this map, I mean, for the entirety of it.
Yeah, we do see some more gamers. Halfrong does look like he's going to commit to this fight. Spade is behind again on their cliff. Looks like he might sort of come towards... Actually, Fane has having none of that. He's sick of it, and he's crushed him, which is nice to see. Arnold yet again hitting some nice arrows. They're coming in here, using forwards. and that's actually losing 2 in that fight, 3 in that fight. Rather, that's very unfortunate to see. This is Arnold actually being taken very low by Down. Down actually, they're wiped. What the hell, Ivan?
Is that a flag? Okay, anyway, that fight, what happened? I'm lost. I'm at a loss for words, honestly. That Uber looked like it was meant to crush everything, and they wiped.
Yeah, it was somehow Moop got dropped, and then everyone else started. Sorry, 2 soldiers got dropped at the start, and then Moop got dropped. It was very odd to see. That was just unfortunate. I think they didn't expect whatever happened there to happen, but it did happen, unfortunately.
I'm pretty sure Arnold just dropped both his players, but it does look like they're trying to regress half from him.
Oh my god.
He gets backstabbed out of Spade.
Yeah, the spy play from Spade there. I did see he was up Spade. I didn't expect anything to happen so quickly. I thought we could finish talking what we were talking about before it happened. And then everyone is trying to collapse in, but they get absolutely mulched. Arnold is taken low in that fight, which is some of the first damage he's taken. I think he's died like 3 times this game. It's really, really well played from him so far. But yeah, that's a nice stab from Spade to yet again give them a 100% Uber advantage.
Do you believe this looks like it's going to be map and match for the side of
this Uber is popped in here. There's some players trying to get towards the point, but they're all just getting mulched. Yeah, nothing happening there, and that's a clean 3-0 on the side of Nefarious.
Nefarious just handled that map so easily. Trisomy didn't look like they were in their comfort zone whatsoever. They were always playing on the back foot, except for that one sack play where Nefarious died. Besides that, I don't think I saw a single point where they came out of a fight that was a definitive win.
Yeah, that was a very, very confident play. Just, I mean, looking at deaths, I was a little wrong. Arnold did die 6 times, but that is half as much as Half Wrong did. Half Wrong was not having a great game, which is not great to see. We have some logs here just to go through really quickly. Who stands out to you in these logs, Ivan?
Who does stand out for me? I want to say Crud, but not in a good way. He went 1 for 14 with 3 assists.
Yeah, actually, that is a horrific performance from Crud. He is usually normally quite a good demo, and we didn't see him top damaging in the last map. So I guess it was just the coordinated play from the soldiers and the scouts on the other team that just shut him down completely. Doesn't help that your med is dead, like, you know, basically just as often as you are. But yeah, he was getting shut down completely, Ivan.
I feel like just looking at these stats, not Nefarious, I mean Trisomy, they weren't really playing off each other. Their combinations just weren't slick. It's like the soldiers would be jumping in, but then Crud or Half Wrong would just be really low and just would not be able to aggress whatsoever. But
Yeah.
another thing is Ben with 25 kills. That's pretty good. That's only 5 more, but from Down. But compared to the rest of the group of Spade and Lugnuts, it's both of them combined. With only 9 deaths as well, he cleaned up a lot of those post-Uber fights for Nefarious.
Yeah, he was playing really, really well around Arnold. I mean, to be honest, as was the entire team. They were deathballing really well and playing really, really well around their medic. But yeah, it was Ben just getting all of those frags, which was really nice to see. Down, I think, did his best. Down and Fane both sort of doing the best for their team. Fane was jumping in quite aggressively. You see him taking on that much more roamery role as you kind of need to as a pocket on product. And you saw Rocky doing it as well. Rocky's bombs were much more effective, unfortunately, than Fane's bombs. Rocky has the DM to back it up and the rocket jumping skill to back it up, and he was just going in and hitting shots and cleaning up everyone. He was on Half Wrong every mid, and if it wasn't him, it was Shifter. They had the medic and demo down so consistently that they could just win purely by playing around their medic, which they did so well, Ivan.
Yeah, like just going off that Half Wrong, there's not much that you can really do without a med on product. That's just the way the map works.
Yeah.
Looking at the healed stats, they're pretty standard. Nothing too big I can see that's really standing out to me.
Yeah, I mean,
'Cause
for dying twice as much, only dealing 2k less healing is quite impressive from Half Wrong, but at the same time, uh, 33% heals on Crud when he goes 1 to 14 is not the stat that you want to see. I feel that they could have given some of those heals to Down, and he would have done so much more. Like, Down is a very good player, and he was not playing badly. Like, he was doing the best he could, I feel, but without those heals, he was getting shut down. Like, I mean, it's a pretty similar spread that we see from both teams in terms of what classes were getting the heals, but it's just way too many heals on Crud when he's obviously not on for that map, when you could be healing Down and Fane, who could be dealing so much more damage, which is, always awkward to see. Like, you do expect to see a demo being healed top on this map, but you expect to see scouts up there, and Down, being the player he is, only getting 16% heals is, I feel he could do so much more with that.
yeah, like you've pretty much covered it. There's nothing more I can say. You've nailed it right on the head. Like the heals, they just weren't being invested right from the side of Half Wrong. There's nothing much more I can say, man. You've hit it right on the head.
Yeah, I mean, I do feel that that was really the tell in this 3-0 was just Half Wrong getting farmed, which is unfortunate to see.
Yeah.
I don't. Do you have anything else to say before we start to wrap the proceedings up, Ivan?
Arnold sucks. That's it, pretty much.
Awesome. Well, I don't think we'll do any interviews tonight. We might save some interviews for when we're a little bit more organized into the later season. But we will hopefully be back with some more maps next week. We'll be back covering some week 3 action in Premier Division ozfortress. We might head into some shout outs just before we finish. Do you have anyone to shout out, Ivan?
Shout out to Cookie. Shout out to Arnold. Shout out to Dear Kind Penguin and the Penguin meme. Shout out
Very
to
good.
Thermite for production and you, Xander, for being my lovely co-caster today.
Oh, thank you very much, Ivan. I would again like to shout out Thermite on production. Thank you for stepping up and filling the huge hole in my heart that is Whitehoofed not being here. Thank you again for Ivan. Very, very good to cast with you again. Always good to have a chat. Shout outs to Mad, Spade, Spooge, and my inter team for this season, playing a damage class at last. My dreams. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. It's been a very exciting match to cast. I had loads of fun. Again, shout out to my cold, which is why I sound really horrible today, but that's okay. Hope you guys tune in next week for some more ozfortress premiere action. Thanks, guys, and good night.